Ashley. How are you, honey?
I'm fine.
How's everything?
You know, it's all good.
So, I don't know if you remember me, but we remember a few weeks back, you came in with your mom, and we had an intake appointment, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we talked about, date of birth, how old you are, how your upbringing was, all those things. Your mom had so many great things to talk about with you. You talked about things that you liked. There were discussions about things that you guys didn't like, that you guys aren't seeing eye to eye on things.
Yeah, when she was being a bitch.
All these different things that we were going back and forth on. And then we also talked about what some of her concerns were. So after the intake, we reviewed it with some people, and they just thought that maybe this would be the best fit for both you and I. And I'm happy you're here today. So I don't know if you remember me, but my name is Crystal.
I do.
And I know you're 17. You're about to be 18. So talk to me a little bit about, why do you think you're here, or do you think you're gonna stay coming here when you turn 18? Like, what's the deal?
Because my mom wants me to come here.
Why does she want you to come here?
I don't know. She thinks something's wrong with me, but there ain't shit wrong with me. She always has something to fucking say. Sorry. I didn't mean to swear.
Has that been like this? Well, and this room is safe. Look, at the end of the day, this is to help you kind of process whatever is going on. I want to help you on your journey to figure out what the next steps are, So, what I will remind you is that I am a mandated reporter, though. So if there's anything where I feel like you are going to inflict harm on yourself, or someone has inflicted something on you, I have to file a 51A, contact those people. But other than that, I want you to feel very open and confident whenever you feel ready to speak. So
I can swear?
I think if you need to swear and it makes you feel good, let's, we're here to make this work. So.
Well, I think you're cool. I just don't want my mom to be here anymore.
You don't like doing sessions with her?
No, I don't.
Because in the intake, she feels like you and her disconnected, right? And she just feels like she don't know what happened. You know what I mean? There's 3 of you, a younger brother, your older sister who doesn't live there anymore, and then you.
Lucky her.
And so why do you think lucky her? Talk to me.
Because she gets to be out of the house and she doesn't have to deal with our mom's shit anymore. She's just always in my face. What's going on in your life? Who are you dating? Who are you talking to? I mean, I get whatever, like, she's my mom and she's concerned and shit, but, like, I just feel like she's way too involved in my shit. Like, she's always asking me questions, and she's always, like, second-guessing everything that I say. Like, I tell her something, and she's like, are you sure? Are you sure? Like, what do you mean, are you sure? Like, I'm not just sitting here bullshitting you. It's just annoying. I'm just over her shit.
Now, how long has that been going on?
I don't know, maybe like the past year, maybe a little bit more than that. I don't know, maybe like a year and a half or some shit.
So talk to me about better days. How were things before?
I mean, they were fine. We had a pretty decent relationship. I mean, we were cool, typical mom-daughter shit. But I don't know what happened. Things just went left.
I know when your mom had the intake, she talked a little bit about, because you were very quiet. That's why I keep referring to what your mom was saying. Because in the beginning, you made it very clear you didn't even want to be here,
I didn't, but you were cool, so.
So I was like, all right. And then she just said, like, she thought she saw a change in you when you started dating. Because she said, and I know that made you feel comfortable, that you started having sex. You fell in love with someone, but, like, you started having sex with them. And she thought you just met him. There was just a lot of different things going around that. So do you think that's true, not true? Like what?
I didn't just meet him. I knew him for a long time. We went to school together. We went to junior high together. Then we were in high school together. She just thinks because I don't tell her every person that's my goddamn friend that you know what I mean? Like, I just met them or something. Like, no, woman, I just don't let you know what the fuck is going on in every second of my life. But she always wants to know. And yeah, once I started dating, it got even worse. Like, oh, who's that guy? What's his name? How long have you known him for? Do you know his parents? What are his friends like? I get her concerns, like, yo, you're a mom or whatever at the end of the day, but, like, yo, she just won't leave me the fuck alone, and I just need her to get off my back. So, honestly, I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to, I mean, whatever. Today was a different story because, like, you were cool and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I was fine with coming back. But, like, the first intake, that's why I was quiet. First of all, I didn't want to be there with her. I didn't want to be around her. She pissed me off earlier that day.
What did she do earlier that day?
Just always with the goddamn questions. And then she was going through my shit in my room. Like,
do you think she trusts you or do you trust her?
Nah, she don't trust me.
Do you trust her?
Nah.
Why you don't trust her?
I feel like she lies.
You think she lies?
Yeah, I feel like
About
she tries
what?
to manipulate. Like, she tries to get me to, like, if I tell her something and I'm like, I don't know. I went to 7-Eleven. She'd be like, did you really go to 7-Eleven?
Mm-hmm.
Or did you go to Honey Farms? Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you even saying? It's just annoying as fuck. I don't know.
Do you think your mom trusts you?
Nah. I know she doesn't trust me.
Well, why you think she doesn't? Why are you so sure that she doesn't trust you?
By the way that she acts, she literally questions everything. Like, she wants...
Well, what changed? Because, you know, you said that you and her were really good a few years ago. And this is all, like, new, like, for a year, some change. So what do you think changed?
I feel like it changed. Yeah, I started dating, right? Like, I'm getting older. I don't want to constantly be in the house with my mom. I don't want to always be hanging out with my little brother. He's annoying as shit. I don't want to be around him 24/7. I want to spend more time with friends. And, like, all of a sudden she started feeling some type of way about that shit. Like, oh, you never want to be home. You never want to be around me. You never want to do family things. Woman, I'm 17 years old. What 17-year-old wants to be sitting in the goddamn house watching cartoons with their little brother all the time? Like,
True.
I don't want to be doing that shit. So then, yeah, I started separating myself. One, I felt like she was, like, pressing me to spend time with her. I already told you, like, I'm good. Like, I'm all set. Like, I want to hang out with friends. I want to do shit. And that was when I feel like the disconnect started happening between the two of us. So, it's whatever.
What do you think needs to happen to be better?
I don't know. I feel like I'm fine.
Do you remember what she was talking about when I said, well, what concerns you about Ashlee? Or what brings you here? You know? So, if you don't remember what she said, what do you think brings you here?
Make my mom happy. Like, that's it.
All right. Do you remember what she was saying about why she wanted you to come to therapy or why she thought you needed therapy?
I don't listen to her when she talks for the most part. I try to ignore her and tune her out.
So you didn't hear anything that she said? You don't remember hearing anything she said?
Not really.
All right. Well, I'm a very upfront type of a person, and that's what I like about you. I feel like you're going to respect that.
That's why I'm here.
But at the same time, I'm going to tell you information and not beat around the bush, right? So I don't know if you remember this, but your mom was very concerned with the things you were doing. And I asked her, I'm like, what are you so concerned about? And she said that you got into a relationship with someone that she feels you barely knew. And I asked her, what do you think is barely new? She said that you knew the person for some time, but that you guys never knew each other in that way. One thing led to another. She didn't even realize this is what was going on. But to make a long story short, a mother approached her right before you turned 17, letting her know that you were pregnant. And she said, no, you must be mistaken because my daughter's not pregnant. My daughter's home all the time. And the mother says to her, well, you know, my son is going on with your daughter. And she just showed me a sonogram picture and said that, you know, the baby is due February of this year. And I just wanted to, and she wanted to talk to me about, like, what we're going to do. What's the next steps? What we're doing here, you know, because they're both 16. And then she said that she talked to you about it, but you said that never happened. And the mother of the boyfriend was like, this is your daughter, and showed a picture of you. And she said that she thought that I already knew because I guess you were texting from one of those apps and make you pretend you were your mother. So my question to you is, have you ever been pregnant? Because your mother seems to believe that you weren't. I know, but your mother seems to think that you expressed being pregnant, and she didn't think that you were because she took you to the doctors and you guys got blood work done. But that you have this obsession in wanting to get pregnant to a point that you have been, you know, when the relationship ended, you went on to say that the baby passed away. You had a miscarriage. And you gave the kid the sonogram picture. So I know mom tried to talk to you about that before, and she said from there, it's like middle fingers in the air. What do you have to say about that?
I don't remember that.
Do you think any of that happened?
I don't know, maybe. Who knows?
I think the other concern that she has had too is just, you know, your mom told me that she was a teen mom too. And she knows that sometimes we lie when we get into relationships. But she was just so worried with where that went in terms of the pregnancy, that when she became aware that you started dating another boy, I think his name was Bob, she only became aware because she was invited to a baby shower. And she didn't know it was for her own daughter. And that Bob's mother said, how do you not know that your daughter is pregnant? And she said, excuse me, my daughter isn't pregnant. I live with my daughter. Well, she was saying, well, your daughter's giving birth in 2 months to a son who you later said gave birth to, but that never happened because you were never pregnant. There was no baby, but this Bob and his family think that the baby is 9 months old. This baby is Isaiah. And you keep posting pictures with, like, you know those emojis, the happy face emojis and all these things covering the face. But mom got wind of that and saw that that was your baby brother when he was a baby. So my question to you is, how, we should explore that. Or do we not want to explore that?
I don't know why I did it. I don't know why I did it. I don't have the fucking answers. I really don't want to get into the details. I'm so tired of this conversation. Like, whatever. It's so stupid at this fucking point. Like, yeah, I did it. Whatever. I faked a pregnancy. Can we move on from that shit now?
Well, I'm ready to move on with it when you are. I just want you to understand, what do you think that could have done to his family? Because you didn't only fake a pregnancy. First time you faked a pregnancy. Second time you faked a pregnancy, and then you also faked the birth of this fake pregnancy, of this baby.
Who was stupid enough to believe it? Like, y'all are so fucking stupid. Like, I literally faked a whole entire pregnancy, faked giving birth to a baby. Like, you guys didn't try to fact check that? Like, you're fucking stupid. Whatever, I was wrong. Whatever, I shouldn't have did it. It is what it is. But yeah, I was obsessed with getting pregnant, and I wasn't able to get pregnant, and so I faked it.
You still want to have a baby?
Yep.
Is that what you're going to keep trying to do?
I do want to have a baby.
And what's the urgency in you wanting to have a baby so young still? I know you're still in school. You know, you have one more year before you graduate. Yeah, she did it. And look, she's a nurse, and she's doing all these things. Yeah.
Well, she did fine with her life. She did good. I mean, my mom's a bitch or whatever, but I'm not going to sit here and say that she's a bad mom, because whatever, she's not, whatever, she's annoying as shit, but she's not a bad mom. But she did good. She went to nursing school. She finished. Like, she got her life together. We live in a house and stuff like that. So if she can do it, so can I.
That is true.
How is she going to sit there and tell me, oh, you can't have a baby at this age, blah, 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 but she did that shit too. So, like, don't be a hypocrite.
But she had a baby. You faked a baby.
Whatever, like, who was harmed in it? Nobody was harmed. Like, I don't understand. Like, I really don't.
I think, you know, do you not think Bob and his family was harmed? They were giving you child support money for a kid they never saw.
I know, I got mad makeup with that shit. Whatever, that's not funny.
No, but don't you think, you know?
Bob was a dick, too. Like, he cheated on me and all that shit, so fuck him. Whatever. I took that money that he gave me and bought myself some new shit. He got what he deserved.
And how about his mom?
I don't care about her.
I just think, I'm not going to keep referring to your mom, but I think the biggest concern that I'm really having is when you're fabricating this life that you want, that you don't have at the moment, right? That could place you in big danger. Because, let's be honest, you knew these people from school, right? But you've engaged in sexual relations with them so fast and unprotected. You know, there's so many STDs in the area. You know, what are you doing to keep yourself safe if you are really looking to get yourself pregnant? You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, I guess you're right about that. Like, I didn't really think about the whole STD shit or whatever, because I was so... My focus was just on getting pregnant, but I guess that really didn't do much to prevent that. But it's just, like, you don't even understand, because, like, the way that my mom approaches me about shit, like, yeah, I get it. I lied about some big shit, whatever. Like, my thing is, like, I'm over it. Why aren't you over it? Like, I already moved on from it. I don't understand why nobody else can fucking move on from it. And I haven't told my mom the truth, and because I just try to avoid the conversation, because now all she does is think that I'm a fucking liar. If I say that I'm going to 7-Eleven, she's like, gotta freaking, I swear the woman fucking follows me in her goddamn car to make sure that I go to 7-Eleven. Like, I'm over it. So yeah, she wants me to be upfront and real with her. Like, I don't want to deal with the consequences that are gonna come with that shit. So I just avoid it and act like it never happened.
So, but don't you think it's fair to say that historically, with some of the things that you have been doing, wouldn't you think that gives your mom enough reason to believe it? It's hard for her to trust you right now? I mean, I know you talk about not trusting her, but, like, what if you were in her shoes? What would you say to Ashlee? Or what would you expect from Ashlee? Again, remember, I'm here to help you guys. I want to help you get where you need to be so that way you guys can move past it. But avoiding it, do you think is helping your situation or making it more difficult?
I mean, like, it wasn't real. Like, it wasn't real. So, like, let's just pretend like that shit didn't happen. Like, that's just how I see it. Like,
no, it's true. It wasn't real, and that is true. And I you know what? And I think that's a big step for you to just recognize that it wasn't real, because for so long, you made everyone believe that it was real.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. For a long time, I convinced myself that it was real because I wanted it so bad.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. I came to terms with that it wasn't real. It didn't happen. So it is what it is. And I just feel like everybody else should just let that shit go. Stop fucking being so hell-bent on it.
What are your thoughts on if you and your... I know you say you're not really open to family therapy, but what if we could have a session with your mom and you could just address the elephant in the room and talk about what can we do to move forward? I mean, we could do it in a session or you could do it on your own, but just...
No, I'm not doing it on my own.
Okay.
Her and I will end up in a huge-ass argument. You feel like I need to? Like I need to address it with her?
Well, it's not really what I feel. I'm just thinking...
But, like, I'm asking you because you're the professional here. So, like, do you really think, like, this is something, like... Because, like I said, I just wanted her to forget about that shit. Like, let's just move on. Whatever. It didn't happen. You want to know, yes, I was lying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get over it, Yvette. Like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. But have you even said that to your mom?
No.
Okay, then. So, your mom went from one day coming home from work, right? And thinking everything is good in her household because you are very obedient in the house. You do everything you need to do. You take good care of your brother while she's working. Sometimes you even start the dinner for her. She was very taken back by all of this the first time around. But she was even more surprised the second time around when she found out that you supposedly birthed a baby that is now 9 months old. I think, so when everything came back out again, your mom is pregnant. So your mom is worried about where your mind is right now. Is it that she's pregnant, that you're upset about that?
I mean, how the fuck does that even happen? Like, I've been dying for a baby, then this bitch gets pregnant. I feel like it's life mocking me. Crazy. Maybe that is why. Maybe that's why I don't want to talk about it. Because I couldn't have a baby. I couldn't get pregnant. And look at this bitch.
She's on her fourth one.
Pregnant. She's too old for that shit anyways. I don't even know why she's having babies.
I know you're not happy that the baby, she's due on your birthday.
No. Be her pride and joy. And I'll just be the liar. The forgotten one.
Do you feel forgotten?
I don't even care. I really don't. Like I said, it's whatever at this point. So, I don't care. Let her have this goddamn baby. Don't ask me for shit. I'm not helping her. She thinks I'm gonna be helping with that baby. I help so much my little brother. I'm not about to help with this baby. When I'm 18, I'm moving my ass out. It can be her, my brother, and a little baby that she's having.
Where are you gonna move to?
I don't know, maybe with a guy or something that I meet.
Mm-hmm.
They're easy to get.
And where do you meet them at?
Depends. When I hang out with my friends, Main Street.
Yeah.
I used to be walking down Main Street and shit, looking cute or whatever.
Of
And guys be fucking hollering, disgusting. But you filter them out, some cute ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I be meeting them. Or when we go to the bar.
Yeah, but should
Probably
you even be
shouldn't have
going to a bar?
Huh?
You're not legal enough to be drinking. You're not supposed to be doing
I
that.
didn't say that I was drinking there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just said that I was there. So,
I mean, I'll be honest with you. You have some concerning things that I even worry about. Like, I don't understand what your desire to have another baby, to have a baby and do all these different things. But bringing it back to when you were talking about your mom and all these different things and her coming to a session, do you think it's beneficial for you to just air out your laundry and then you guys can move forward? Or that's something you could try on your own as well. It's just to kind of like get you guys back in a place where you don't feel like you're defined by this person that made mistakes. Because if you allow me to say something, I know your mother had told me and she hoped that I shared this with you. You know she was a young mom. She doesn't expect you to be perfect because she was by far not perfect. And there is no
whatever, she can
perfect.
come.
But
Here.
she is real concerned with how you do things because some people, she just thinks if you can go that far and that extreme with a lie, how far are you really willing to go? And she worries that that could place you in so much harm. I mean, some people just get so emotionally attached to things, and you're playing with people's feelings and their heart in a way that it's cruel.
Listen, I either love people or I hate people. That's it.
There's no in between.
There's no in between for me. I either love you, but the moment that you cross me, fuck you. That's it.
So let me ask you this. Do you think that everything that took place in the past has helped you or hurt you? Like, who did you really hurt in the end?
I mean,
I know it's a deep question, but I'm just curious.
I don't know. I guess myself. Disappointed.
Why were you disappointed?
Because I really didn't have a baby.
Were you disappointed because you weren't pregnant, or were you disappointed because you got caught?
I don't know, both.
I mean, how, and this may, you don't have to answer this if you don't want, but, like, were you trying to have a baby? Like, were you guys engaging in sex, trying to do these things?
A lot of it. But, obviously, your shit doesn't work. Because I didn't get really pregnant. But, you know, men are stupid. They're so easy to play. But, like, whatever. So I took a test. And, like, you know, the little lines or whatever. Like, one was, like, super, like, faint or whatever. So I just took another test. And then I folded that test up. And then I put it in a little thing. So it made it look like there was 2 positive lines. And that's what I used for a positive pregnancy test. You can't even front. That's pretty genius.
How did that make you feel to look at a pregnancy test that tested positive? Or even though you altered it, what did that do for you?
Made me happy.
Yeah.
And then I just ran with it. So fuck it. And then, you know, I told the lie. The lie got really deep. So
Do you ever feel like in your lives that you were just like, oh man, this is way too deep? At some point, did you ever think about you wish you got caught?
Sometimes, but not most of the time. I just don't give a shit. Like whatever. I just don't give a shit. So sometimes I thought about it, and then sometimes I was like, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. I don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So
You don't give a fuck about what?
how I make other people feel. People don't give a fuck how they make me feel.
Well, why do you think that about yourself?
People be living their own life. My mom got pregnant, knowing that I told her that I wanted to have a baby. Did she ever tell you that? That I told her that I did want to have a baby?
She did.
And she gave me the whole spiel about, oh, you shouldn't be having a baby. You're too young. I was a young mom. Fucking blah, blah, blah. Okay, Evelyn. Like, that's all she does. Fucking tell me these goddamn stories. And then what she do is she goes and gets pregnant. It makes no fucking sense to me.
I know when I talked to your mom, she told me that yes, she was pregnant, but she didn't, it was unexpected, right? So she's a little taken back. Do you know what her fears are about this pregnancy?
No. She'll be telling me all this shit.
Why do you think nobody loves you or cares about you, especially her? Because you seem very mad at your mom.
Why she having another baby? Like, you're mad old.
Your mom is 36. Ain't that old. It's not like she's 50, 60, 70.
I'm saying she shouldn't be having babies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm 17. I'm ready to have a baby. Like, I want to have a baby. And like,
How are you ready to have a baby? Tell me. What do you think you...
I took care of my little brother.
I know,
while
but...
she was working.
Do you have a job?
No, but I'll get one.
Did you finish school?
Huh?
Did you finish school?
Not yet, but I'm gonna. You know I'm gonna.
And where you gonna live with this baby if you was to get pregnant?
At his daddy's house.
So you're gonna live with the daddy and the mother, the grandma.
No, I'm gonna get pregnant by an older man that has his own shit.
How
Fuck
old?
these young guys.
Anybody you talking to now?
Girl, don't be asking all them personal questions. Couple ones.
Do you use protection?
But I mean, I'm gonna be 18, so I'm gonna be legal. It's not
Well,
like...
I mean, actually, the reality is that once you turn 16 in the state of Massachusetts, that's the age of consent. I mean, I'm not saying it's you have the green light if you want to be with someone who's 50 years old, but at the same time, charges can be pressed against this person if you want to be with someone who's that much older than you. Once you turn 16 in this state, you have the right to make a choice in terms of the age of the person you want to date. My question to you is, I know you say you're dating like 3 people, but I just want to make sure that you're practicing safe sex, because I know your eagerness to get pregnant is one thing, but remember when I talked to you about AIDS, can't cure that, herpes, there's gonorrhea, there's so many different things going around, especially in the area that you live. Like, there's a big outbreak in gonorrhea right now, and herpes.
Ugh.
Sometimes something looks real good, honey, and it's not.
That shit is disgusting.
So what are you
They show me
doing?
them pictures in health class, I'm all set.
So what are you doing to protect yourself?
Girl, how can you get pregnant though if you're using condoms? Like, that defeats the purpose. What the fuck?
No, I agree, but how do you keep
I
your
mean,
body
whatever,
safe?
I guess we could get tested, but how do you tell a man, like, hey, I want to make sure that you're not burning, get tested?
Well, how long have you known these people? And how long are you waiting before you having sex with them?
I mean, I haven't had sex. I have 3 little.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't had sex with none of them yet.
Mm-hmm.
I've known them 1 month, like 2, like 1 to 2 months.
Mm-hmm. All 3
So
of them?
I'm waiting. It's not like I'm some hoe.
Do they know that you want to have a baby?
I mean, one's older.
Okay, what does that have to do with
I'm
the
just
question?
waiting until I'm 18, so you know. He got a good job and his own apartment and everything.
So, don't you think, what if he was to get pregnant? How would you know who the father would be?
I'm not gonna sleep with them all the time, girl. I'm just doing interviews right now.
Oh, okay, interviews.
That's it.
Okay.
25-year-old though, I think. He got a good job. He got his own apartment, and he's smart.
Mm-hmm.
College graduate too.
Oh, good.
Give me props for picking a good one.
Oh, that is good. That is good. And he's single?
Mm-hmm.
Have your mom met him?
Girl, I ain't no homewrecker. I might have lied and shit, but I'm not a homewrecker.
Yeah.
Not my business. But yeah. I mean, he's good. He's nice and shit. Got a good job with the union and all that. I don't even fucking know what that means, but I hear a lot of people say it, so it sounds like it's good.
Well, a union job is good because a union protects you and protects your job, so they fight for the rights for you to get the right compensation and things like that, you know?
You know, I want to go to school to be a cosmetologist.
Mm-hmm.
So I could do my hair.
I know. You do a good job.
Thank you.
Hair, your nails.
But see, I got it all planned out. Get a good guy that makes good money, got his shit together. I have a baby. I can go to school, not work and stuff or whatever, because, you know, he makes good money, so I can stay home. And then move out of my mom's house, and she can have her baby.
Mm-hmm.
Be happy.
You seem very upset that she's having this baby. Hopefully that's something we can work through in our next session. But what I did want to do with you was this little activity. It's quick. It's not that crazy. I promise.
Okay.
And really, what I really wanted to start working with you is about assessing problem solving, right? Because I think we struggle.
Like math?
No, I think we struggle with. I know it's too young for us. It's too early, and especially with your age, to full on put on a diagnosis. Because in meeting with the psychiatrist that you met with, and after the intake, there was some questions of whether or not a diagnosis of borderline personality disorder.
Like those crazy people?
No, doesn't mean you're crazy, but it's truly about just trying to figure out what you believe to be real, what you're willing to own, what you're not willing to own, because this disconnect that you're having with what you've done in your past worries your mom of what you're going to do in the future. So what I would like to do is kind of like, let's start. I know you don't want to keep talking about the pregnancy, but I promise you after this meeting, I just want you to start thinking about what a problem is and how to resolve it. so that we don't try to make the same things. Like, what really led to that? How do we prevent these things from happening? Because at the end of the day, you're not going to be perfect. None of us are.
Okay.
So with this, really what this is we want to talk about when an event happens, what you think will affect what you feel and what you do.
Okay.
So you talked about wanting to have a baby and doing all these things, and not getting pregnant led you to doing other things. So my hope is to kind of figure out why we got where we got. So it talks about describe the situation. So for the purpose of this, just this activity.
The
Now,
pregnancy.
what about the pregnancy?
I lied.
So we could put, so you can fill this in about, I'll help you with the first part, and then you can fill in the other parts and your question.
What am I saying? Like I lied about?
Well, what was the situation that brought you here? You said the pregnancy, but what was it? Was it a real pregnancy? Was it a fake pregnancy?
Faking a pregnancy.
And how many of them?
2. 2 pregnancies. What were your thoughts now or at the time?
What were your thoughts at the time?
Can I write? I don't give a fuck. Just kidding.
You can write whatever you want, but the purpose of this is trying to figuring out why we got
be serious,
to
be
yeah,
serious.
like
Okay.
why we faked the pregnancy. What was it that you was really looking for? What do you feel like a pregnancy is gonna do for you? There's no wrong way to answer that either. It's your feelings. It's to help us assess where you're at.
Someone to love me.
How did you feel when you were faking your pregnancy?
Yes, good.
Correct. That's how you feel. Or that's how you felt. Write it down.
I mean, I felt good because like people were acting like I was really pregnant, and I felt like I was really getting the experience, and yeah, maybe a part of me started believing this shit. Like maybe I really am pregnant. Like maybe that pregnancy test was right. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, good. I mean, I was treated like I was pregnant, so it felt good. What were your behaviors? I acted pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I acted pregnant. Like, I don't know what else I would be putting there. How did I react?
Well, what were the things you were doing to act pregnant or have people think you were pregnant? From maybe, I'll give you an example.
Letting my gut hang.
You can put that. How about taking your mom's sonogram pictures and posting them and altering them to your information? Or what about the pictures you were posting of your brother when he was 9 months old and making pretend that was your unborn, that was your child that never really was born? I don't know, things like that maybe?
Stealing pics. Took prenatal vitamins. I got them from the clinic though. They're stupid. They didn't ask me shit. Anyways, took prenatals. My hair grew though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I try to forget a lot of this stuff. I'm sure my mom reminded you of it.
I'll be honest with you, when I was talking with your mom, she didn't focus the whole time on what brought you here. She actually spent the last 5 minutes just talking about what her concerns were. The whole first 40 minutes, she just talked about her family and how in a million years she never thought that she would be having these concerns about you. She talked about how you are such an obedient, great child, very helpful and honest and just pleasant to be around, and everyone always wanted to be around, smart, behaved. She never thought that this was
I wish you would tell me that shit.
something we could explore. And what's the last part of this activity that it's asking you to do?
What was the outcome? No baby.
So,
Hurt feelings.
by who? By you? Your mom? What?
Hurt my mom, I guess. Not bad enough that she didn't have her own baby. guess Bob was hurt. Well, not really, because stupid ass still thinks the baby's alive. Ew, who's gonna tell him?
You haven't told him that the baby wasn't alive? Wasn't real?
No, I just stopped talking to him. I blocked him on all my social media. And from my phone.
Yeah, because I know your mom has mentioned that he's come around and she said there was no baby, but he doesn't believe it because he really thinks that there is one.
Because he's stupid.
Because he believes you.
Yeah. Whatever.
Are you going to have that conversation with him?
I'm tired of this conversation. Like.
Alright. Want me to review the paper? You want to share?
Okay, so describe the situation. I faked 2 pregnancies. My thoughts. What were my thoughts? I was just trying to get someone to love me.
Let's stop right there.
How did I know you were going to do that?
Sorry. So let me ask you this.
What's up?
Why do you feel like no one loves you? Or who in particular is it? Like, what makes you feel that way?
I don't know. It's just like a baby. It's just, you're the older sibling or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, like, everybody else comes before you, and it's all your responsibility. And, yeah, I was an obedient child. I always did what my mom asked me. But I felt like because I was so obedient, like, I didn't get the attention that I wanted. You know what I mean? Like, my brother's a little shit, but he gets all the attention. She's always spending time with him. Always this, and that. Oh, that's my baby, blah, blah, blah. But I do all this shit for you in this house. I freaking clean, I cook. I'd watch my brother 1,000,001 times so my mom can work the overnight shift. But it's forget about me because I'm the good kid, so I don't need the extra attention.
So you think your mom doesn't love you?
I think that she loves me, but it's not giving me that, like, undivided, unconditional love that I want. Like, so I get that from a baby, right? Because she pisses me off and she's a bitch and I still love her. I need that same energy. So
I think it's something worth exploring when we have a session with your mom that you agree to. I think those are some of the things, because I know you say you don't want to keep talking about what brought you here, what brought your mom to wanting you to meet with you, right? But I think we should address that a little bit, but really focus on what the key core is. It's not so much, yes, faking of the pregnancies, was that nice? No. Was that something that should have happened? No. But looking at the underlying issue, you feel disconnected from your mom. You're looking for attention that you're not getting. You're looking for a connection that you want, that you're lacking. Having a baby is not easy. And not all the time they're going to give you everything that you want. It's a lot of work, So I think it's important that you talk to your mom about those feelings. And we can do that here in that day. We could address the past so that way you can move on. And that could be something that you clearly just let her know in the beginning. This is what I'm looking to do. I hope for my next session when we meet that this is what it's going to be. I'm going to let you know my true feelings about where I went wrong, where I went right.
Tell her not to judge me.
No, and we'll talk about some ground rules for that too. And what if and when we have this visit, if you ever feel like you need to stop the conversation, we can. And we can separate it so that she can leave and then I can still work with you.
Good.
Remember, I'm your therapist. I want to help you. I want to help you and your mom get back together and feel this connection that you had before. And I also want to process the need and the urgency for you to want to have a baby at this age. And it doesn't matter if you were 25 or going to be 18 years old, to be honest with you, Ashlee. It's about the reasoning behind it. I want to help you get through, So, I think this little problem-solving activity helped to really see that it's way more than the faking of a pregnancy. But you have to own what you've done that's right and wrong, and you have to address certain things. So I want to leave you with 2 things for homework, because I know you love homework.
Yay, add more onto my plate.
No, the first thing is to touch base with you so that you remain with an open mind about having a session with your mom, and you can really talk to your truth and where you went wrong and what your hopes are in the future for you and her. But also remembering that in order for you and her to reconnect, we need to do family systemic work. So we can try this session. It can be a half a session. It doesn't have to be the whole session. We can start off with a session together, halfway, and then the other half
we'll
you
see
can
how
go.
it goes.
Exactly.
I'm not making any promises.
Okay. But then the other part of my homework that I have for you is a very important one, and I hope that it's something you could get done by next Tuesday when we meet at 5 o'clock.
What?
That you tell Bob the truth.
I knew you were gonna say
And
that.
whatever that truth is, how you want to say it, but the reality is he needs to know. And what do you think he needs to know?
I'm gonna just text him and then block him again. I don't want to hear it.
Well, the reality is like you have to have a conversation with him. Sometimes it's hard to have those
Can
things.
it be through text message? Like
You can try through text, but that's only going to ask more questions. How about this? If you don't want to see him in person, and instead of doing a text, what if you just call him and just say, look, I'm going to tell you something that's not going to make you happy, and apologize for that. But he needs to know the truth because he really thinks he has a child and he doesn't believe your mom. So we'll check in on Tuesday. You let me know on Tuesday if you were able to be successful with that. And then we'll start, if you're good for that and that nothing's changed. Tuesday we'll have a session with your mom, the first half hour, and then we will ask her to leave so we can just process how the session went. You're good with that?
Cool.
Ashlee, it's been great. Touch base.